I remember before my veil was dropped of Alex Jones when I thought he was a truth teller. I remember a Rothschild relative came on at the Alex Jones show to promote some sort of philanthropy. And then Jones was like, screw you, Rothschild, you've done enough to the people. And the Rothschild was like, Alex, I'm just here to promote my Clean Ocean event. And why are you? And he's like, Rothschild, go to hell. Fuck you, Rothschild. And it was just, looking back, it was just puppetry. It was just like watching two people live action role playing, where you be the big bank guy and I'll be the truth speaking guy selling boner pills, right? I can't believe I didn't see it at the time, but I hadn't even really looked into the Rothschilds at the time. And I just thought, I thought that was something that could happen. Looking back, there's zero chance that a Rothschild would ever go on the Alex Jones to promote anything. That's insane. And then when you look up the story of Mayer Rothschild with his 5 daughters and 5 sons and how he sent them to go take over the banking industries of all these like European principalities, none of that makes sense. Why wouldn't the king or the nobility just kill them? It's like, oh, well, they got in so much debt and they promote all this war. They're just like a couple Jews. They didn't have armies. They had notes. Something about it's off. And so that story of the Rothschilds is off. And so I think it's a way for us to not see the real way is just to put all our anger and frustration on this mythical family called the Rothschilds. You know, I know a lot about them. I'm not saying they don't exist or they aren't evil or they don't have trillions of dollars and profit off bombs, all this, but they're bagmen. You know, the story of Mayer Rothschild living in a Jewish ghetto, even though it was a really nice house, and he was working with the prince because he had coinage, and he started giving them, interest loans, and then with the Napoleonic War, he bet on both sides and tanked the Dow. He's still just a guy. You want to know what beats a promissory note? A sword or a gun. Like, we're talking about English nobility. If it's like, oh, you owe us money. It's like he was a guy, just a guy. And so then they got rich off selling slaves to fight in other people's wars, mercenaries. They're doing the same thing in America right now. But they're just like a dude. Like either the nobility and the Rothschilds are one and the same and they always were in cahoots, or it's completely different and none of it makes any sense. And why would they make a movie about them? Well, there's so much of it just feels like layers on layers on layers to the point where I'm like, go back to the woods, leprechaun. I'm not buying your fake stories. What I know is true is if you dig deep enough, you will reach water no matter where you live in the entire world. And that includes Libya. That's one of the reasons why Gaddafi was whacked. I know that soil can make food. I know that humans with love and devotion can make more people. Humans. Or whatever you want, living men, language is all insane. But fruit trees will give you fruit. Your neighbors will be welcome guests with you. Like, these are the things that I know are true. And they're not manipulatable, and you can't send them down the memory hole, and you can't Mandela affect them. There's truth in this world. Rothschilds own Israel. What is a Rothschild? Their story makes no sense. Their name was Bauer, like the drug, and the hockey skate. And then they make it red shield and the as above, so below hexagram, like a hex is a 6-pointed star. Like, I've done the research, but in reality, what government would allow that? In history, every time someone got a little too big for their britches, the monarchy would just kill them. Like, how is that not, so if they have a central bank and they have all this debt and blah, blah, I don't see that. I don't see why the king wouldn't be like, bring me Rothschild. And he's like, oh, you owe me $1 trillion. And he's like, take off his head. Gaddafi was going to create a West African bank, but it's about water. It's all about water. Water, water, water. Life needs water. Like, the currency, the fake water is debt, is money. The real water is water. So, my assets are frozen. I'm afloat. To be underwater, the banks of a river, currency, like current. liquidation. Every single term that has to do with money is water-based. It's the same with astronauts, fake space missions, right? It's like the ship, the astronaut. We will set sail. Like when John F. Kennedy was like, we will set sail on the ocean of the stars. And everybody's telling us all the time that real wealth is water and that's water. The sky, the star, space isn't space, is water. They always refer to it as a space ship. Ship? Really? We will set sail? It's not a vacuum, it's water. The water's above, the water's below. It's in the Bible, right? Real money isn't money. It's water, always water. So the wars are always water wars. If you think about the places in the world with the least amount of water, it's the Middle East. They're barren, but water's there. There's primal water underneath all continents in the entire world. Everywhere has water. If you dig down, you will reach water. Gaddafi had the biggest aquifer that anyone had ever built, and he was literally turning the Sahara green. Literally. They bombed it with a uranium bomb. Because if you look at Iraq, if you look at Libya, Algeria, these are wastelands because the water has been taken and controlled. When you watch the third John Wick, the man above the high table, where does he have to go to find him? The Sahara Desert, right? He's the one who's controls the families of the high table. They put truth in the movies so that you don't trust your intuition. So when you think something, you say, oh, that's just from a movie. Agenda 2030. Oh, that's just Hunger Games. You're misunderstanding. Wow, that's sad. It's not sad. It's unbelievably not sad. There's water everywhere. Water can make the Sahara green. The Middle East has been sucked. There is dragons. Gold isn't gold. Gold is always water. There's dragons sitting on the water going, argh, because they won't let the people grow their food from the earth. It's Canaanites. They're cursed to not grow anything. That's why the evil in this world is not Jews. Jews are bagmen. They contribute to evil. But I'm starting to really understand why they're called God's chosen people, because when a society gets to a level of degradation where they just strike at the money lenders and the pornographers and the warmongers and kill them and not kill their own connection to it, they're cursed. The Jew is a test. The Jews are engaged in disgusting business practices. They are merchants of sin. That's a fact. Lawyers, doctors. Doctors are drug pushers. Lawyers are liars. Let's just be honest here. Warmongers, pornographers, media, which is lying, and Hollywood, which is mass deception, right? Okay, you're not allowed to kill them. I know that. Because every time people attack the Jew, physically, they curse their nation. You can see it over and over and over again in history. Look at Germany right now. They're incapable of doing anything, right? Okay, so what does that mean? It means that God is testing you to the point where, if you just put your sin on the scapegoat, on the Jew, and not yourself, you curse yourself. Choking on gravy? Yeah, this is gravy. This is hard to hear, but you're right. Yeah, you have to turn off your TV. You have to not drink Sprite. You have to throw away the pills. You have to stop watching runaway drug addicts getting fucked on camera called pornography. You have to do it. Because if you keep degrading yourself, you'll come to a point when all you can do is kill Jews. And I now get why they're God's chosen people. They're God's chosen people. It's not what you think it is. They're not special boys. They're in a tremendously bad position. Where they're the test. They're the scapegoat. They're the blame, the whipping boy. They're where people outsource their rage because of all the sin they did. They're the guy that pays the whore, and then the guy kills the whore because of how disgusting the whore is. And so that's why it is bad to start being like, oh, you got Jew blood? Oh, Jew, yo, Jew. No. You can ghettoize the Jew. You can do all that stuff. The only way to actually win and to actually thrive is to not partake. You always can say no. You can always say no. You can say, we're not going to go to college. Yeah, well, your children, it's a wizardry sales tactic. Well, then their lives will be ruined. If you don't fight for your freedom, you won't have freedom. No. But no. $100,000 to look in the box. I swear it's the most amazing thing in the world. No. If you don't look in the box, you're all going to die. No. There's nothing in the box. If you don't vaccinate your children, they're all going to get all these diseases. No. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do, because if they do try to force you, then you can kill them. If they come to your door and they say, if I can't put this toxin in your body, like with a gun, then you can kill them. They don't want that. That isn't the game. Because you are biblically allowed to, kill a man who's trying to kill you or is trying to, impede on you physically. The real N-word is no, exactly. Got to think outside the box. Good one, Forrest Cole. There's 6,000 people here. Wow. Ladles and ladles of gravy, BB. Yeah, it's true, though.